And there you go, 3-0 it did finish, and Brazil doing absolutely nothing to quash their tag as one of the favourites coming this World Cup. I know, Shaka, that you were super impressed with what you saw. Jules and Robbo's still with us, but let's start with just how impressed you were, Shaka. In fact, so much so that I know in your power rankings you've been saying Argentina are your favourites, but you might be changing your mind somewhat.
Yeah, I've been saying Argentina for some time, just given what we've seen of them of late, particularly in big tournaments, and I'm thinking of the Copa America specifically, where I thought they were outstanding, winning on Brazilian soil. But you see Brazil play against Ghana today, and goodness me, you have to second guess them even being second. They were 3-0 at halftime was flattering to the Ghanaians. It quite easily could have been 5 or 6. Second half just fizzled out. But Brazil really were that special. The only concern is if they're under a little bit of pressure, how they stand up. Do they have enough metal about them? But in pure footballing terms, I don't think I've seen many better teams. But I'm sticking with Argentina.
But let's just talk a little bit about Neymar, Jules, because he was playing in a deeper role in this game, but he still carried that sensational form that he's had for PSG into it.
Yes, you're right. I thought he was outstanding, certainly for the first half, which, like Shaka said, was very, very special. I mean, the football they played in Ghana were not very good, and they lost Thomas Partey before the game, and they played tactically. I think Otto Addo, the head coach, got it wrong, and they were far too exposed to everything. Okay, fair enough, but still, Brazil were outstanding in the way they moved the ball, and they played with no right back really, because Eder Militao was playing as a right back. So it was just so entertaining, so free flowing. The movement was non-stop. It was just beautiful to watch really, and Neymar was at the heart of pretty much everything good they did. And his relationship with Vinicius Junior is getting better and better and better. His relationship with Lucas Paqueta has always been very, very strong. And at times I think Brazil will play with Casemiro and another more sort of defensive-minded central midfielder instead of Paqueta tonight. But against teams like that, where you know you're going to have a lot of the ball, then it makes also sense to just have Casemiro, and then the rest is basically attacking players. I think what we saw tonight as well is you understand maybe why there's no room for Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus in that squad, because they're so good going forward, attacking-wise, that you wonder who you would have to drop to make room for the two Arsenal players.
Yeah, they've got such a wealth of options, Robbo. It really is hard to bet against them, especially when you see their form as a national team coming into the World Cup as well.
And when they're playing well, they've got great spirit. You know, they look as though they enjoy playing the game. They enjoy each other's company. They look as though they're a team that are, at the moment are playing the best football they possibly can. And that wasn't their best side they probably had out today. They could bring other players in. So I think they're certainly a side to watch at the World Cup. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. Argentina, likewise, I think could be there. But Brazil, for me, just at the moment, are the favourites.
Does Jesus come in for Richarlison, Jules?
Well, we used to say that this is the squad that you have to be in, really, to make the World Cup squad. And it's the same for every single country, and especially the big countries, where there's so much focus on the last squad before the official one for the World Cup, which will be next month, really. That if you're missing on the last squad before the competition, then it's really hard to get back into it. It's not a cliche, this is the way it is. And you will see, I think, a lot of those big countries, the 25 or 26 that they've taken in this international break, there's 90% chances that it will be exactly the same, bar injuries, of course, that they will take to the World Cup. So not being in this one, I think, was a huge blow for Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli, especially then when you see the firepower that this Brazilian team has, which is it's not new, but when they play like that together, Rafinha, Richarlison, Neymar and Vinicius tonight were so good that you think, okay, yeah, you can take Gabriel Jesus and it might be as good as Richarlison tonight, or Gabriel Martinelli might be another good option instead of Rafinha and Vinicius in the last 20 minutes or again 15 minutes. But you could also easily say, well, the 6 that Tichy had selected for this international break are perfectly fine, and you don't need Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli either. So unless they have really outstanding performances with Arsenal in the next 4 weeks now to regain that place in the squads, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to make the World Cup, unfortunately.
You know, that's a very good point. I think coming into this game, you can quite easily make the argument for Martinelli and in particular Gabriel Jesus over Richarlison. I think that was a very easy argument to make. But you see this performance today. You see Richarlison and how he functions as the out-and-out striker in front, in that Brazil attack. And given that performance, I'm not sure what either Jesus or Martinelli can do for Arsenal that puts them ahead of Richarlison come the World Cup. Because the understanding, the chemistry of Brazil's attack really was something to witness.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.